My people, sons and daughters of Helgan, for many years we have been a broken nation, shunned, oppressed, and conquered by those we sought to escape. 10 years ago, I asked for time, and that time was granted by you. You, the strength in my arm, the holders of my dreams.
When Killzone was first released way back 2004, I got hooked into it immediately after watching the intro. That powerful speech of Vizari and Helgan, it's one of my favorite scenes. Killzone was one of the great games with decent graphics among its FPS competitors like Halo and Darkwatch. The battle between ISA and the Helga's forces was an event that I could never miss in my entire gaming life.
Rebuilt our strength, and I have rebuilt our pride. Our enemies at home have been re-educated. We have given them new insights into our cause.
Fast forwarding to the present, it has been 2 years since the release of Killzone Shadowfall. Back then, I didn't have a PS4 to have this game reviewed, but time and patience has led me into buying the console. Shadowfall starts off 30 years after the events of Killzone 3. Helga survivors were accepted in Vecta for refuge, but with unforeseen events, the Helghast is plotting over the VSA to have revenge on what happened to their planet. Killzone Shadowfall is an immersive cinematic first-person shooter with next-generation graphics that never felt it was a 2013 game.
The ends justify the means.
Every detail of the characters, weapons, explosions, and rain effects are superb. It was the main highlight of the game, really. And what makes it cinematic is its 30 frames per second cap.
Trust is easily lost in this game.
Now, even if it has a cinematic feel, the inconsistency of the game's frames per second is what made me disappointed. There were also some graphical glitches. I was covering behind a box where I had to press the left trigger to scope in, and there was a delayed response to the action, about almost a second delay. It seems that the PS4's hardware wasn't able to cope with Guerilla Games' demanding graphics of Killzone Shadowfall. This issue with the 30 frames per second cap also existed in Killzone 2, but it was pretty consistent unlike what I've experienced in Shadowfall. Aside from the game's issue with the inconsistent frame rate, Killzone Shadowfall has an open-ended environment that encouraged players to explore areas in the game to progress through, but there were areas and stages that felt more close and claustrophobic. Gameplay-wise, it's still your Killzone game that you love and know. Weapons with secondary features like the Staff 409 Kaiser, which was previously known as the Staff 52 assault rifle of the Helgan army with a close combat shotgun attachment. What was replaced was the ISA M82 assault rifle. It was replaced with a futuristic design with an attachment of the HE grenade, which is called the M55 Rumbler. The designs of the weapons are impressive. I prefer to use the Kaiser since it has the secondary function of a shotgun for close combat. The AIs are smarter than they were before in the previous games. They have this tactic where they outflank you in certain areas while they pin you down. But what makes the challenge fade is the fact that you have a sonar-type ability to detect enemy signals within the range. What's also at your disposal is the Owl. It's a flying drone with 4 functions. You can use the touchpad to change the Owl's functions for your advantage. It can revive you once you die. It can also help you fight battles. The Owl can generate a front shield barrier for you to cover, and also a zipline mode. The combat sequences and stages are loyal to its franchise. With dozens of Helga's troops running towards the place you're defending with 2 of your fellow ISA soldiers felt that all hope is lost. But the feeling of successfully defending our objective is fulfilling as ever. There are also levels where you had to take stealth as an advantage. This is where the pace of the game gives you a breather from heated gunfights. It does give out that horror atmosphere in that level where I had to infiltrate a space station. Another is a free fall stage from the sky, where I kept dying a lot, like really. Seriously, more than 10. I literally moved my head under when I glide beneath a falling building. There was never a time when the stages left me saying, meh. To sum it all up, I like how Guerrilla Games went to a path that Killzone Shadowfall has taken. It was not your ordinary shooter game that you run and shoot, but a first-person shooter that gives out some diversity in its formula. Killzone Shadowfall never failed to deliver what a next-generation title should be, and it's still worth it to play today. For more reviews, gameplays, and trailers, bear tune in with Cyrus Gaming.